You know the Greek king on Olympus, clutching his lightning bolt. But deep in West Africa, a darker, fiercer storm was brewing. This isn't a god who was simply born into power. This is Sango, the king who burned his own life to the ground. And this story makes the Greek myths look like bedtime tales. Long before he was a god, Sango was a man. He was the third Alaafin of the Oyo Empire. A warrior king who didn't just want respect, he demanded fear. He had a temper that could split a stone in two. But for Sango, earthly power was never quite enough. He had wives, he had armies, he had gold. Yet, he looked at the sky and felt envy for the storm. He wanted to weaponize the very air he breathed. This obsession would become his glorious undoing. Legend says he sought out the elders for a charm, not for wealth or long life, but for destruction. He wanted to spit fire and call down thunder. The elders warned him, "The sky does not obey man." Sango didn't listen. He took the charm and climbed the hill. He needed to test his new weapon away from prying eyes. Or so he thought. But power is a volatile thing. The first test was a success. The sky roared back. He felt like a god. He felt invincible. But the thing about lightning, it's hard to aim. He returned to the palace, arrogant and buzzing with energy. He wanted to show his favorite wife, Oya, his new trick. Oya was powerful too, the spirit of the wind. But even she feared what Sango was becoming. One afternoon, the argument turned into a demonstration. "Watch this," he likely said, blinded by pride. He summoned the bolt, but his hand slipped. The lightning didn't hit the mountain, it hit the roof. In seconds, the dry thatch turned into an inferno. Sango stood, frozen. The king of Oyo, powerless. His children were inside. His legacy was inside. By the time the smoke cleared, everything was ash. The people didn't see a god anymore. They saw a murderer who played with forces he couldn't control. The Council of Chiefs demanded his abdication. Sango, the great warrior, was broken. He left the city, followed only by his loyal Oya. But the guilt was heavier than any crown. Even Oya couldn't save him from himself. He reached a place called Koso, the end of the road. In a final act of despair, the king took his own life. He hanged himself from the sheer butter tree. News traveled fast back to Oyo. The king is dead. His enemies laughed. The mighty Sango defeated by a rope. But this is where the history ends and the myth begins. As they mocked him, the sky turned black. A storm appeared out of nowhere. No rain, just fire. Lightning struck the homes of those who mocked him. Panic swept the empire. This wasn't natural. His followers ran to the tree at Koso. They expected to find a body. They found nothing. Only a double-headed axe embedded in the earth. The shout went up, "Oba Koso!" It means the king did not hang. He hadn't died, he had ascended. He became the Orisha, the force of justice. Unlike Zeus, who was born into privilege, Sango earned his divinity through suffering. He represents the wrath of a leader who failed. Today, millions worship him across the globe. From Nigeria to Brazil, the drumbeats still call him. They say when thunder cracks, Sango is judging you. He doesn't strike randomly like a natural disaster. He strikes liars. He strikes thieves. His axe, the Oshe, points up and down, symbolizing the balance between the sky and the earth. So why does he beat Zeus in a fight? Zeus is a king who plays with humans. Sango is a man who learned the hard way. He embodies the terrifying consequence of power. He isn't distant. He is immediate. The Yoruba people say the king does not hang. He is alive in the storm. He is alive in the justice we seek. So next time you hear the sky crack open, don't think of the white bearded man on the mountain. Think of the king with the double axe. Think of the fire that cleanses. Think of Sango, the god who died to become immortal. And remember, power without control is just a house fire waiting to happen. If you want more forgotten myths, hit that subscribe button, because the pantheon is vast and the storm is just beginning.